Well, just on alarmism and hysteria, the gold medal goes to the New South Wales government this morning. We now have lockdown until August 28. It won't end there, thanks to the fact that an unvaccinated, unmasked limousine driver was allowed to transport international flight crews under public health policy of Berejiklian and Hazard. Shouldn't that public health delinquency demand they resign? Instead, a press conference today where they all left at midday, and we're told breathlessly that a lady died in Liverpool Hospital and she was in her 90s and unvaccinated. Excuse me? Why was someone in their 90s not vaccinated? I thought we were protecting the vulnerable. Would Morrison and Berejiklian have the decency to admit that this is another policy failure? Then we had the man of the people, John Barilaro. The high-low Barra has certainly slipped. A former tradie talking absolute rubbish. The construction ban is lifted. He thinks we're stupid. Listen to this.
What we are focused on is making sure that there is no contact with households and tradies.
The tradies will have no contact with... There'll be a cap on the tradies, and the only construction that can take place is non-occupied, so the residents will have to, quote, leave their house or area. Listen to this.
Firstly, no contact with those households. In some cases, we would ask those residents of those households to vacate the premises or vacate the areas of work. There'll be a cap on the number of tradies at any one time internally, being the maximum cap of 2, and externally a maximum cap of 5.
Barra, you're just proving the government is running around like a headless chook. So the residents of those households will have to leave their house. But isn't Berejiklian telling people not to leave their home and not to have any conversation with anyone and assume that each time you leave the house, you have the virus? But Barry, you want people to talk to the tradie and then leave if the builder comes around. So where do they go? Barilaro was pressed on this and he said, well, they should be timing their maintenance work with going out to get the groceries. Listen to this.
People can have tradies in to do renos, but they can't be in the house. Where are people supposed to go if they're not in the house because of the construction?
So the decision is if you can time your maintenance work or the appropriate trade to come to your house when you go out to do your groceries or, for instance, your exercise for the day, so be it.
Oh, good one, Barra. You want the occupant to walk endlessly around Woolworths because you said...
No contact with households. If you can't achieve that, then those works won't be permitted.
See, this is called lifting the restrictions. But if you're getting renovations done on your home, make sure there are separate amenities. That must mean there's got to be a portaloo in the street and the tradies can't mix with one another or anyone in your household. Listen to this.
And for works like an extension or reno at the back of the house where you may have 5 trades, we expect you to have and other amenities on site to deal with those trades, and we want complete segregation areas where it's a no-go zone for the household people.
Oh, God, I thought the members of the household had to leave. Barra, just admit you don't agree with this rubbish and you're out of your depth. Parents, I'll leave it to you about the Year 12 students being vaccinated, and you better tell Berejiklian that you are the controllers of your children's health, not her. But asked about school students, here we go again, listen.
We appreciate that this means another 4 weeks, another month of homeschool learning.
Gladys, as I'll be saying later, I asked you to appear on the program tonight. You declined because you can't answer any of these questions. You have no idea of the angst and stress this is causing. Didn't the Prime Minister say months ago children should be at school, and he sent his own daughters to school? Yet here we have parents juggling working from home, trying to supervise the child's learning, finding them a device, having adequate internet. Every day, Gladys Berejiklian, you prove that you don't have the common touch needed to lead the people of this state. And let me quote a member of your own government. This is a member of Berejiklian's own party, but they don't have party meetings, you see. These people aren't even consulted. Berejiklian knows everything. She cannot be told. I'm telling you, I know. She can't be told. This is a mother in her own government, because I actually asked the mother, the MP, to do something today. I won't go into what it was. And she emailed me, and she said, Alan, I rarely get a migraine, but I woke up with one today. I'm swamped with helping constituents, ringing businesses and trying to educate my 5-year-old from home, oversee my teenager with her schoolwork, and help my husband who's running his business from home. I'm fighting to get schools to go back urgently and life to return to normal. I am overwhelmed at the present. Alan, the majority in crisis cabinet do not have a young family living this burden, so they don't understand what they're making us go through, and you can quote me. Well, you see, that's got to be game, set and match, isn't it? Her own party. She shouldn't be leading it. But on the vaccination to Year 12 students, listen to this.
We don't want students coming to face-to-face learning, getting the virus and then taking it home to their families.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it? Gladys, you can still get the virus even when you're vaccinated. Yes, Pfizer and AstraZeneca vaccines are very effective at preventing people from severe illness, hospitalisation and death. But here's the doozy. Don't visit your aunt or your grandmother because that could be a death sentence. Listen.
You might think you're doing your grandmother or your aunt a favour by dropping in and giving them food or going in to say hello, but that could be their death sentence.
Are you persisting with this alarmism to try to cement your authority, Gladys? Your hold on power is receding every day. You can throw in the most populous countries in the world, India, Africa, Europe, where the virus took hold. And even so, today, the death toll in the world from coronavirus is 4 million, which is 0.05% of the world's population. Good on you, Gladys. Do the maths. In Australia, the death toll, remember, it's supposed to be a pandemic, 922 deaths out of 25.5 million people. The percentage, 0.003%. We desperately need new leaders, from Morrison down. Can you believe any leader in this country could say this? This is communism.
Do not let your guard down. If you see somebody not doing the right thing, please report it. Even in your own workplace, report it. And we just ask everybody to do more, to report those who aren't doing the right thing, but also to be vigilant.
It's Russia. Disgraceful stuff. As Al Pacino said in that famous scene in Scent of a Woman, Gladys Berejiklian, you're building a rat ship here, a vessel for seagoing snitches. And that's what you're building. Gladys Berejiklian, a state of dobbers with no trust in one another. Who fined you for your takeaway coffee expedition when you weren't socially distancing or wearing a mask and you were engaging in conversation? Who called Crime Stoppers? Your plea for people to dob one another in is a moral and social disgrace. And then, of course, vaccinate, vaccinate, vaccinate. Listen to the Premier.
It doesn't mean you can't get the virus or spread it, but of course it is an enormous protection.
But Premier, didn't you say school children have to get the vaccine so they don't bring COVID back to their homes? But you're now admitting that even with the vaccine you can still contract COVID. Premier, why not tell the truth to start with? Tell us simply and decently to get vaccinated. We're not against vaccination, but I'm against not giving the public all the facts. And then tell us simply that even the vaccinated can still get the virus. However, we do know the vaccine significantly reduces the risk of transmission. Tell us whether the woman in her 90s was from a nursing home. Tell us why she wasn't vaccinated. Is that another government failure? Tell us why someone apparently with the virus was left waiting for hours in an ambulance, waiting for a hospital bed in Concord. What's second prize? But don't worry, Brad Hazard responded in his usual arrogant way, out of his depth, incompetent. Anyone for a line or two on the Ruby Princess? The Health Minister replied.
It's a normal sort of situation in a pandemic that when you have a patient come into the emergency department, as happened, they manage it, and they manage it through the appropriate avenues. I was briefed this morning that there were no major issues there.
Yeah, it's normal, eh? Lying in the back of an ambulance for hours, waiting to be admitted. The final say to this completely out of touch and out of knowledge Chief Health Officer Kerry Chant, trying to remind us she's got the common touch by stating, listen.
I grew up in Punchbowl and had the privilege of working in southwestern Sydney, based at Liverpool, Bankstown initially and Lidcombe, and then moving to Liverpool. And I had the privilege of working with the communities of Western and southwestern Sydney. They are such strong, resilient communities.
Oh, give me a break. Is that meant to soften the blow on people living on $750 a week, week after week, when you, Kerry Chant, are on $6,000 a week and don't forfeit a cent of it, viewers? I'm telling you, I mean, these people are without shame. I keep looking for a ray of hope. I regret to say, with these people running the show, we are virtually hopeless. What do you think? Email me, alan@skynews.com.au, or the text line 0414 000 848.